Hello everyone and welcome to today's webinar, Getting Around Ireland, brought to you by Tourism Ireland and Baxter Media. I'm Dan McDonald from Baxter and today is Thursday, November 14th. Speaking first today is Sandra Moffat, Trade and Digital Marketing Executive for Tourism Ireland. Hi Sandra, how are you today?
Hi Dan, how are you? Good.
I'm doing great, thanks. And I just want to quickly let everyone know before we get started that if you guys have any questions at all during this webinar, feel free to type them into the Q&A box found in your Zoom toolbar, and those questions will be answered after all presentations have finished. Also, if you have any problems hearing or seeing the presentation, just type a quick message into the chat box again and I'll do my best to assist you. Okay, Sandra, since you're already sharing your screen, you can start whenever you're ready.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Dan. So hi, everybody. As Dan said, my name is Sandra. I am the Trade and Digital Executive here with Tourism Ireland based in Toronto, and I'm joined today by some incredible industry partners, as well as my colleague Laura Griffin, who also works with us here in the Toronto office. I would like to talk to you briefly about why Ireland and some practical tips on getting around Ireland when you're there, when your clients are there. And then we'll hand it over to our partners, which is Rail Tours, Jim Deegan, Colin Grant with Sheen Co Travel, and then John Higgins with National Trust. We'll then also open the floor to a Q&A. So please, if you have any questions throughout the session, just ask them there in the chat box and we'll address them at the end. Also exciting that we will be giving a prize to the listeners who tune in to the end of the webinar. So do stay tuned for the entire duration of the session to be in with a chance to win a stunning Waterford crystal from ourselves at Tourism Ireland. So why Ireland? Of course, why not? But really, it's the closest European hub that we have from Canada. It's only a 6.5-hour flight from Toronto, and it is a gateway to Europe, whether you're taking a full vacation in Ireland or pairing it with another destination like London or Scotland, Paris or Spain. They're all right next door to us. But while you're in Ireland, there's also a density of experiences that's very, very hard to find in other destinations. Especially here in Canada, you can drive for hours, and while the scenery is beautiful, there might not be a ton to do throughout that drive. The opposite can be said for Ireland, where around every corner there's something to do and see. In comparison, our size is very small on the island, and we do have a rich and ancient history, so over 5,000 years of history available in Ireland. Paired with that, of course, is food, festivals and fun, or crack agus ceol, as we say in Gaeilge. We recently launched a new brand campaign at the start of this year called Fill Your Heart with Ireland. Hopefully you've seen that around the marketplace. But here's some feedback from what clients said while they were in Ireland and how Ireland filled their heart. So it feels like I'm in a fantasy world. It's my first love, and you never forget your first love. It's mine too. The people are absolutely lovely, and that's something that comes through a lot. We have won an awful lot of awards actually over the years, so it's not just me saying it. I am a little biased, of course, being from Ireland, but we've won awards time and time again for our hospitality and our friendliness of our people, the most recent of which was in Condé Nast, I believe, earlier this year. We also have a stunning coastline, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a couple of minutes. As I said, it's very close to Canada, so Ireland is closer than you might think. It's only 6.5 hours from Toronto, and we have year-round flights, direct flights from Canada to Dublin. We have direct flights seasonally as well from Vancouver, from Calgary, and from Montreal, and of course from Halifax. It is always a good time to visit Ireland. It's something we get asked a lot here at Tourism Ireland, when is the best time to go? And I'm sure if you have clients asking you questions about Ireland, it's probably one of the first questions that you have to answer is, when's the best time to go? When should I travel to Ireland? Well, it's definitely snowy season in Canada here at the moment. I know we're under a good few inches here in Toronto, and I know it's a lot worse elsewhere. But in Ireland, it's about 5 to 8 degrees Celsius throughout the winter months. So I would always recommend sending clients to Ireland in the shoulder seasons when it is a little bit cheaper and capacity is more available. It's a beautiful place to be at Christmas time, for example, and you can see here the Christmas lights and just the atmosphere in the cities is absolutely incredible. But there is no bad time to go. So whether it's in September or October or in February or March for St. Patrick's Day, of course, there's never a bad time to go, as well as the peak seasons across the summer months. When people do typically have vacation time, it's also a great time to go. Next year, we're excited to announce Galway 2020. So we are the European Capital of Culture for next year. So if you are looking at booking clients to Ireland, make sure that this is on their list. This is a not to miss stop in Ireland next year. And I can send you some more information on what Galway 2020 entails. But it's going to be incredible. It's a festival all throughout the year with lots of arts, culture, entertainment from January through to December. Also One Lonely Planet, top 10 cities best in travel for 2020. So again, of course, I'm a little bit biased, but Lonely Planet agrees with me. Here is Ireland's touring routes. Some of you may be loosely familiar with some of these. All of our air access at the moment does fly directly into Dublin. So you can see that there in the middle of the country on the east coast, 6.5-hour flight. And from there, the dark purple is Ireland's ancient east. So in Ireland's ancient east, this is really where you're going to find all of that ancient history, lots of castles, lots of stories to be told, right on Dublin's doorstep. If you go north, you then go up to the Causeway coastal route, so into Belfast, and then you can go up to the Giant's Causeway, who you'll hear from later on with John, and then into Derry, Londonderry. On the left side of the map, then you'll see a blue line going from north to south of the country, and that is what we call the Wild Atlantic Way. It's 2,500 kilometers of touring coastal route and the longest coastal route in the world, driving route in the world. Now, some practical tips for you. This is a Getting Around Ireland webinar, so I want to share some practical tips that will apply to clients driving in Ireland. Self-drive is a really popular way to visit the island of Ireland because it means you can see a lot of things that are off the beaten track. We do get concerns from clients, however, that, cars do drive on the opposite side of the road. But what I would recommend for clients asking that question is to just get an automatic transmission car. The roads in Ireland have come a long way, and they really are some great highways and great motorways. So it's not the worry of the winding, tiny little roads that we may have had in the past. There are very easy ways to get from A to B across the island. And I just would recommend that you concentrate, if you're used to driving on the right side of the road, that you can focus fully on the road and not have to worry about perhaps driving a manual transmission with your opposite hand, or perhaps for the first time. So definitely book an automatic. They are available from all car hire companies, but we do recommend that it's booked as far in advance as possible to secure availability and also to get the best rates for your clients. You will need a full national driving license or an international driving permit, the same as any other European country. And something that's quite fun to note is that in the Republic of Ireland, you can see kilometres and speed limits in kilometres. And the road signs have place names in both English and in Irish. So you can see a picture of that there on the right-hand side. So Lochgore in Irish and in English. That road also specifies that it is cars only. So when you see that, you know that the roads are a little bit smaller. So you'll always have notification of that type of thing. There is no border going into Northern Ireland. You can drive straight from Dublin into Belfast with absolutely no stops whatsoever. And the only way that you'll know that you're crossing into Ireland is that the signposts and the speeds are in miles instead of in kilometre. And the place names are displayed in English only without that Gaelic place name underneath it. So that's the only way that you'll know that you are crossing the border, which is kind of fun. For reference then, journey times are quite short all across the island. I have public transport here because you can get to all of the major cities by bus or by rail. So for example, for reference, Dublin to Belfast is a 2.5-hour drive. If you get the bus from Dublin to Galway, so east to west of the country, that will take about 2.5 hours. If you were to drive it, about the same. And then Dublin to Cork is 2.5 hours by train and then about 3 hours by bus. So it really is very fast, easy and accessible to get around the island. Driving by car is, of course, typically slightly faster depending on the time of day and the traffic and all those, other things that we have to worry about here in Canada as well. But if you are scheduling itineraries or you're developing itineraries for clients, one thing that I would keep in mind with these travel times is you're not going to just drive straight from Dublin to Galway. You're going to stop off for lunch. You're going to see something amazing along the way that you're going to want to stop off and take a photo of. So make the most of that time in between and try not to cram too many things into too short a time. It is easy and possible to get from A to B in seconds, but you're going to want to explore off the beaten track a little bit. It is joy, especially if you're in your car. So if you're driving, just make sure to factor in a little bit more time for all of that fun stuff. Now I'll move on to Rail Tours Ireland. So unfortunately, Jim Deegan, the Managing Director of Rail Tours Ireland, can't join us today, but I'll just talk you a little bit through Rail Tours Ireland and their amazing product. We have worked with this company for many, many years. They're absolutely fantastic. They have been in the business for 22 years, providing rail tours of the highest standard with their office based in Dublin city centre in Ireland. And they offer independent travellers the opportunity to explore a large portion of Ireland that they wouldn't usually be able to experience comfortably in one or more days. So using a mixture of comfortable, modern intercity trains and luxury coaches, they offer a fantastic touring experiences to those wishing to see all of those highlights, the best of Ireland. Rail Tours Ireland First Class offers an extensive programme of day tours and also overnight tours throughout Ireland. And in association with Iarn Rud Éireann Irish Rail, Rail Tours Ireland offers free independent travellers the chance to see a huge portion of the island with 1 day to 11-day tours. They really do have something for everybody, and they have an operations team that are more than happy to go through all of their different tour packages over the phone or by email to help find the best fit for your client. So you can call them up and go through the criteria that you have, and they will be able to recommend the best package for that particular client. So their product covers everything from Ireland's ancient east to the Wild Atlantic Way and everything in between that we just spoke of there. For you guys, they do pay a 10% commission on all of their tours and packages. And bookings can be made by email or over the phone. So depending on the time difference, depending where you are based, you may need to do it by email. That's no problem at all. And they need the following at the time of booking. So your tour code and tour name, the name of the party, the usual information, the date of departure, number of people traveling. If there's children, they need to know what age, room types, and there is a single room supplement on all of their tours, including accommodation for solo travelers. Payment can be by corporate credit card, and they charge you 90% of the total amount. So you can then charge the customer 100% of the total amount of the tour. So you automatically get that commission. They make it as easy as possible for you. Alternatively, they can charge the customer with 90% of the total cost of the tour, and you can then charge the remaining 10%, which would again amount to your commission. If you don't have a corporate credit card, don't worry about it. They can come up with lots of alternative payment arrangements like billing the client, PayPal, direct to bank account, all of that type of thing. And they take full payment at the time of booking with a 48-hour notice cancellation policy on tours with accommodation and 24-hour cancellation policy with day tours. All refunds are subject to a 10% administration charge. And if interested, let us know and we can send on a list of rates and all of that information so that you have it in writing. But onto the fun stuff, they have a dozen different day tours featuring Ireland's most popular tourist destinations. Their tours visit the following locations: from the Cliffs of Moher, Blarney Castle, the Ring of Kerry, the Giant's Causeway, Connemara, Avoca in Wicklow, Glendalough in Wicklow, Waterford and Kilkenny, among many others. And their day tours depart Monday through Saturday year-round with a Sunday departure that's actually just recently started. So with those Avoca and Glendalough Wicklow tours, they depart on Sundays as a shore excursion and something that they intend to build on for 2020 with lots of cruise product coming into Dublin. And they also have a shore excursion option from Cove in Cork. They do have a lot of extended tours as well. So over 50 different options available to book. And as you can see on the map here, the tours really do span the length and breadth of the country. This map covers the route that our 11-day rail tour takes, so it doesn't even feature Wicklow, Waterford or Kilkenny, which they do feature on the tours. Rail Tours Extended Tours are guaranteed departures, and they operate all year round using B&B guest houses in Killarney and a mixture of 3-star and 4-star hotels in Galway, Dublin and Belfast. By booking directly with Rail Tours, your clients will receive free upgrades, and there are 3 free upgrades available depending on the tour. You get a free breakfast on the 7 o'clock Cork train. You get a free upgrade to a 4-star hotel in Killarney instead of that B&B guest house, or you can also get a free hop-on, hop-off Dublin City sightseeing tour ticket. So it really is a lot of added value for your clients there. This is very, very exciting. So Rail Tours do have a 2020 departure of an Emerald Isle Express tour. This is a 5-star, all-inclusive rail cruise and manor house tour limited to 50 guests. It's a really special experience where you'll cruise through the Irish countryside on your own private heritage train and then overnight in a 5-star manor house and city and country hotels. It will feature experiencing Dublin's fair city before travelling by rail along the stunning east coast to Waterford, Cork, Cove and also the Ring of Kerry. Then you'll enjoy an Irish night in Killarney before continuing on through the savagely beautiful countryside of Connemara in County Galway. We'll give you the contact information for Rail Tours at the end of this presentation. So if you would like more information on this tour, be sure to reach out. It's a very exciting opportunity, and especially with that limited guest count of 50 people. Spectacular. Now, some of the benefits of booking Rail Tours are that it's car-free, care-free. It is also eco-friendly, which is something we're all very passionate about, I'm sure. It's scheduled trains with no extra trains running and no extra pollutants. They also do a London to Dublin tour, so it cuts out the need for a short flight if that was an option for you. As I said, car-free, care-free. I'm not too worried about driving on the wrong side of the road. I think with your automatic transmission, as I said, it's not a big problem, but something that does really make it carefree is our strict drink driving laws in Ireland. Like yourselves here in Canada, we are very against any drink driving whatsoever, and these laws were further strengthened last year. Most visitors, of course, hopefully like to enjoy a famous Guinness or a Jameson or an Irish whiskey, but just 1 pint or even half a pint could put you over the legal limit. So you don't have to ruin your vacation by being stopped at the Garda police checkpoints. You can just take a rail tour and be car-free, carefree. The Rail Tours Ireland First Class team do take pride in delivering tours of the highest standard, and some might even say that they're of a first class standard. It's really in the name. So the operations team conduct a check-in each morning at the station for a personal experience and just to make sure that everything operates as it should. So you can worry about your client. You don't have to worry about your clients being in Ireland. They will be very well looked after by the Rail Tours team. They do not leave anything to chance. You might even be checked in by the operations agent who organised your tour. Rail Tours have received a wealth of positive feedback about the team there, and I can advocate for that. They're a fantastic team on the ground, and they really do make the touring experience more personable and more memorable for your clients, which is really what travel is all about. They have fully hosted tours, a memorable touring experience with very experienced hosts and knowledge of the history and the culture in Ireland. So that's it from Rail Tours. As I said, please do reach out if you have any questions or queries or would like to learn more about any of their tour types. You can reach them at info@railtours.ireland. They have their phone number there, which is toll-free, and then follow them on social media for lots of amazing inspirational imagery and information on new products and tours as it's available. And now I will hand over to the wonderful Colin Grant from Sheen Co Travel, luxury travel specialists.
Thanks, Sandra. Hi everyone, my name is Colin Grant. I'm a luxury travel specialist with Sheen Co Travel. I'm originally from St Andrews in Scotland, and I now live in Ireland, where I've been for over 20 years. We're based down here in County Cork, and we've been offering luxury vacations to Ireland since 2012. Shamrock Vacations, as we were back then. We started as just Ireland specialists, and now we have travel specialists from England, Ireland and Scotland, and are now known as a leading name in luxury travel for both Ireland and the UK. And moving on, I'd like to talk a little bit about the type of accommodations that we partner with. So we work with carefully selected 4- and 5-star hotels, which are handpicked and visited by us personally throughout the year via site visits and internal fam trips. These maps show all the castles you can stay at, and we do place a strong emphasis on castles and always encourage at least one castle stay in a customised trip. And if you've consented to share your email address, I will follow up and send these on to you. If not, please go to our website and click on the Travel Agent button and you'll receive these maps in PDF format, as well as much more information on who we are and what we offer. Moving on now, these are some of the castle hotels that we work with. And clockwise from top left, Glenat Castle was built in the late 19th century and is in the southwest of Scotland. And as well as being near Robert Burns country, it's also very handy for guests looking to include some time in Ireland with the ferry from Troon over to Northern Ireland. That ferry port is only an hour away, and it's only 30 minutes from Turnberry Golf Course. Then you have Cabra Castle in County Cavan, a really impressive property from the early 19th century, 1 hour from Dublin Airport. Quite handy for the last night in the country. Then we have Adair Manor, which is without a doubt one of our top 3 accommodations in Ireland. Michelin star restaurant, one of the top golf courses in Europe, of course, confirmed as 2026 Ryder Cup hosts. And then we have Dromoland Castle. This would be one of our top 2 castles. We recommend places like Dromoland, as well as Ashford Castle, for a 2-night stay, minimum, just to take that day to relax, take a break from touring and enjoy some of the activities on site, like fishing, archery, falconry, horse riding, pony trap riding, clay pigeon shooting, tennis. There's even a parkland golf course at Dromoland, as well as wonderful spa facilities. So we really encourage a day at leisure at properties like this. Now moving on, we always recommend a chauffeur-driven trip. This is by far our most popular option. Our drivers are informative, they're charismatic, they're very entertaining, and our itineraries are as flexible as the guest like. So the trip can change on the fly as the driver gets to know them, which further enhances their itinerary. And I think this is a lovely aspect of a chauffeur-driven trip. We do also offer self-drive if budget doesn't allow for a chauffeur-driven, but definitely always recommend the chauffeur-driven option. Now we do group tours of all sizes, and the larger groups I would say are more limited in terms of accommodations, especially when we're talking about castles, and we do recommend advanced booking for groups of 12 or more. I would say ideally 18 months in advance or more. And then we also offer smaller group tours like our escorted castle tour, which we'll see details of on the next slide. Now our escorted castle tours for Scotland and Ireland are small group scheduled tours. We cap the maximum at 18 for Scotland and 20 people for Ireland. So it's a really nice size group. And as it's such a small group, I would say for groups of 6 or more, we would encourage a private chauffeur-driven tour rather than this. But, and I've often put together a customized version of the castle tour, either identical or loosely based on it. But for less than 6, this is a great option. We offer a flat 10% commission to you. So it's a very convenient option on your side, as well as being a fantastic option for your guests. And full PDF brochures are available on our website. And again, if you click the travel agent button on our website, you'll receive full brochures of these castle tours. Now, they are priced in US dollars here. However, we can easily price these in Canadian dollars. That would be based on the current exchange rate at the time of booking. And just to give you an idea, at the moment, that would come in at just over $6,600 per person sharing. And we run these back to back. So your guests can actually do both of these consecutively. And I would say that over half of our guests will choose to add on 2 or 3 nights in Dublin or Edinburgh usually, just to explore those cities independently at either end of the tour, usually at the back end, just to enjoy some time exploring independently on their own before they head off home. Now we have special interest tours. That's becoming quite popular, especially these days, with screen entertainment, Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Outlander being the big 3, I think, at the moment. We also offer spiritual tours, visiting sacred sites like Knock Shrine, or stone circles like Callanish Stones in the Isle of Harris, and Neolithic sites like Newgrange and Stonehenge. Golf vacations are popular, usually with a mix of some light touring and as many rounds of golf as they like. And we can also include sporting events like tickets to Premiership soccer matches or Gaelic football and hurling. And we do work with the Croke Park Hotel in Dublin, which you'll see, among others, in the next slide. Now, we can look after meetings, incentives, conferences and events of all sizes, as well as team bonding with a stay at a resort perhaps, with everything from rib rides and kayaking to medieval banquets. And here we have, from top left again, the Dingle Distillery, Christchurch, and then Croke Park, as I mentioned, and Barberstown Castle. We also offer exclusive use of castles and other luxury properties, and check out our website and click the corporate button to find out more about these. Moving on, this is the Sheenco team. And of course, when we're not working, we just run around in fields. We're all very happy all the time. And just to kind of emphasize our concierge team at this stage, actually, most of our guests like a flexible itinerary to start out with. However, 90 days from departure, we encourage our guests to work really closely with our concierge team and start putting some fine details into the trip, with tickets for shows, dinners, spa treatments, and the like. Now, the larger groups will have most of this done at quote stage, but for couples and smaller groups, this 90-day from departure point is usually the time where those details would be added in. And for those smaller groups, the initial proposal can be as loose or as structured as they like. Usually people like a very flexible itinerary with everything very open, and then maybe start adding in a few details at this point. And I would like to add that we also offer 24-hour support while guests are traveling. So if anything goes wrong, and it sometimes does, we're here to fix it. So really just to say again, check the website for details on all our chauffeur-driven and self-drive options, as well as our escorted castle tours, and click that travel agent button for those PDF brochures of the castle tours and your maps of castles in the UK and Ireland.
That was fantastic, Colin. Thank you so much. Looks like some amazing product on offer there. And hopefully all the clients that go on Sheenco travel trips will be as happy as the team walking through the grass there. I will now hand over to John Higgins from the Giant's Causeway World Heritage Site. How are you today, John?
I'm doing very well. Thank you very much, Sandra. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening for wherever you are listening to today. My name is John Higgins. I'm here to tell you a little bit about Northern Ireland, and especially the Giant's Causeway and Carrick-Reid Rope Bridge. So the Giant's Causeway is situated on the north coast of Ireland along the Causeway coastal route, and it's accessible from every major city in Ireland. In fact, it's only a 3-hour drive from Dublin and 1 hour from Belfast and Derry, and actually joins up with the wild Atlantic Way. And the Lonely Planet actually ranked ourselves and Belfast #1 region to visit back in 2018. And just this year, we were voted by the Lonely Planet most memorable, beautiful, surprising, compelling experience to be had across Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and has been described as timeless and unrepeatable. Moving on just about the Giant's Causeway. The Giant's Causeway is owned and cared for by the National Trust and the largest conservation charity in the whole of Europe. Giant's Causeway is a UNESCO World Heritage Site designated back in 1986 for its geological importance. I suppose it's managed similar to the national parks there that you have in Canada, caring for these special places. But we are asked all the time by visitors if it was built by nature or shaped by imagination. We tell them all the same answer. Of course not. It was actually built by a giant. And you know us, coming from Ireland, we love to tell a good story. But our visitor centre opened up back in 2012, and we have won loads of awards for our sustainability already. An admission ticket will let you explore our 5-star visitor centre through its interpretation area, where you can find out more about the landscape, the rock formations, or the local characters that actually brought this place alive. Or maybe take an audio guide, which actually is in 11 different languages, or an entertaining walking tour, and find out for yourself what actually makes this place so special. We also own and care for Carrick-Reid Rope Bridge, which is only 7 miles from the Giant's Causeway. This bridge was erected by the local fishermen to have access to the island. Carrigareed actually means the rock in the road when translated from Gaelic, an obstacle from the migrating salmon as they search for the rivers in which they were born. The bridge is 20 metres long, 30 metres deep, and now is one of Northern Ireland's leading tourist attractions. We do encourage you to book online as we operate a time ticket system. So there are two options open to you on this, which is just a general bridge ticket. But we also have a guided tour and bridge ticket, which takes in the quarry, which people will know from Game of Thrones. It was one of the kingdoms in Stormland, so certainly one not to be missed. Now, we're so excited to be launching our new signature experiences for 2020, which we just launched in World Travel Market a couple of weeks ago. These experiences are slower, smaller, and more intimate. And the first one we'll tell you about is Whiskey on the Rocks. This is where we have teamed up with the oldest licensed whiskey distillery in the world, in Bushmills. This is a personal guided tour down to the Giant's Causeway with a National Trust Ranger, where we are joined by a distiller from Bushmills, talking about the whiskey at a special area at the Stones, and over 400 years of distilling whiskey, and then coming to a special place to see. Not that much has changed in those 400 years, either with the whiskey or the Giant's Causeway. You will actually have the opportunity to smell, taste, and savour the whiskey. And actually, not everybody is aware, but the water the whiskey is made from runs over the basalt bedrock at the Causeway. Now, our second one we're so excited about is called Beyond the Bridge. This is at Carrigareed. You will get access to an area where salmon fishermen actually worked. This actually is not open to the general public. You can actually just see it in the middle of the screen there, just the wee white house. This is for small numbers up to about 8. So this would actually give you the feeling that as if you're alone, but really up above you, as you can see, there's a few people. It makes you feel as if you're there alone. And this is such a wonderful experience not everyone will get. A local guide will take you to the fisherman's cottage, telling you why and how the bridge was put up. The guide will sit you down in front of a big open fire where you will be told stories about the fishermen and how they once worked and lived. So certainly very exciting times. And the third one, again, we just launched at the World Travel Market, is the Cliff Top Experience. This is a 8-kilometre hike led by an experienced rambler, showing the World Heritage Site, taking in views and bays, giving you the opportunity to see the site on paths less travelled. And this has come from a lot of agents that instead of driving around Ireland and looking at areas that you can see by car, they wanted to actually get out of their car and experience this on foot for themselves. Now, the fourth one I'm going to tell you about today is one of my favourites. This is called Wonders of Land and Sea. And this is a unique experience to see the Causeway coast from a different point of view on an 11-metre rib boat. Taking in sights of the Carrigareed rope bridge and the Giant's Causeway, and on the journey you will discover castle ruins, caves, hidden bays and secret waterfalls, and be sure to keep an eye out for the local wildlife like basking sharks, dolphins and seals. So that's just a wee insight of what we have going on at the moment at the North Coast and up at the Giant's Causeway. Thank you very much for taking the time to listen. Thank you.
Thank you so much, John. Some really exciting.
Thank you very much, John.
Hand over to Laura Griffin from Tourism Ireland here in Toronto, who will just share some information about how we would like to support you in the market.
So hello everybody, I'm just going to chat to you today about how we can help support you and help you. So to begin, we are a small team of 5 based in Toronto who are at hand to help you with any questions you may have about whether it be your client's upcoming trip to Ireland, and you can either call us on the phone or drop by the office. We're more than happy to help. Secondly, if you've not signed up for our trade database, I encourage you to sign up, which can be found on trade.ireland.com. And finally, we have tons of promotional literature for you to use, from guidebooks to maps to posters. We have lots to share, and it's available in English and French. These brochures can be ordered directly through ireland.com or reaching out to us directly here at the office. I also encourage you to join our travel agent exclusive Facebook group. You probably get swamped with tons of emails from loads of different providers, so we set up this group exclusively for travel agents. It has great offers from our partners and contains product updates and information on fam trips and upcoming events. The group can be found on our Facebook channel titled Discover Ireland CA, but if you have any difficulty finding it, definitely contact Sandra directly and she can help set you up. So I hope some of you here today are already an Ireland specialist, but if not, do sign up to the Ireland Specialist Programme, which can be found on trade.ireland.com. The Ireland Specialist Programme is an interactive online training programme designed to teach the international tourism sector about the island of Ireland as a holiday destination. Upon completion of the Ireland Specialist Programme, you will receive a gold or silver Ireland certificate that you can add to your email signature. So there is loads of resources that you can find on ireland.com, especially on our trip ideas page, where you can find lots of custom-made itineraries which you can adapt for your clients, whether it be Ireland's Whiskey Trail or how to get around Ireland's ancient East. There's a ton of information to discover. We've got you covered. Another handy resource would be our YouTube channel, the Discover Ireland YouTube channel. It contains videos and infographics that you can share with your clients and on your consumer channels. A particular favourite of mine is all about the weather on Isle of Ireland. It's a question we get a lot, and it's a handy little 30-second video that you can zoom through yourself and share with your clients. Another useful resource is Ireland's content pool. New images are constantly being added, and it is a free resource of images and videos of Ireland and more. You just simply use the link detailed here on the screen to sign up and use our assets for your Ireland promotions or on your Ireland pages on your website. So finally, last but not least, I do hope you are following our social media channels. We are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and our handles can be found below. We also use the hashtag #LoveIreland when we're talking and promoting about Ireland. So that's all from me. Thank you very much for taking the time, and I'll hand it back over to Sandra.
Sandra, you're not coming through at the moment. Let me just make sure you're not muted here. Sandra, can you hear us okay?
I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Oh, great. We can hear you now.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, just thanks to Laura for running us through all of the supports that we do offer here in Canada. If there is something that you want from us or a way that we can help or support you that isn't listed here, please do reach out to me. My email address is here on screen. And I believe we are going to open it up to Q&A to our partners.
Wonderful. Yeah, let's dive right into the Q&A. Thank you so much, Sandra. Thank you so much, Laura, as well. And thank you, Colin and John. So the first question we have submitted here, this is one that was submitted to the chat box. Do you have solo or agent rates? Now, I think this was submitted at 2:37. So let me just see. That was so this question would be for Laura, I think.
I think that would be for John.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, sorry, that's for John.
Yeah.
Yes, guys, good question. We aren't, as I say, in the process of going through these experiences. Just come out with the tourist board. Yeah, we, at the minute, as I say, we're just trying to get all the info to details. But the question is, have we got agent rates? I'll have to email that through to you guys because at the minute I just don't have that information on hand. Sorry.
We're getting all of the cutting edge information and just launched experiences here. So yeah, as the information becomes available, I think for those exciting signature experiences, we'll be sure to share them with you, whether it's via the Trade Easing or the Facebook group, or for anything, do reach out to John direct. His email address is also on screen there.
That's great. Yeah, excellent. And let's see. So again, to anyone that's has any questions, feel free to submit them to either the chat box or the Q&A box, which are both found in your Zoom toolbar. And the next question is from Jackie, who says, any idea regarding the frequency of long-distance buses? Several per day or what? I.e., for example, Dublin to Galway. Thanks.
So for Dublin to Galway, to use that as an example, that would leave on the hour every hour with multiple providers, pretty much from 6 in the morning right through to 11 p.m. at night. So it depends where you're going to answer that question. There are lots of websites online that will give you those travel times, and it depends what provider you're booking through. But for the main routes like Dublin to Galway, Dublin to Cork, and Dublin to Belfast that we highlighted, they are very regular services.
Oh, perfect. Thanks, Sandra. Okay, we'll allow a couple minutes, of course, just to see if any more questions come in. And again, to anyone that might have signed in late, the recordings of these webinars are made available on the Baxter Media YouTube channel. So say you signed in 5 minutes late or 10 minutes late. So we're going to be uploading the recording of today's webinar by tomorrow morning, I would say. So definitely by lunchtime tomorrow. And if you go on YouTube and search for Baxter Media, just look for our blue and white icon, and that's where you can find all of the archived webinars. Okay, no other questions yet, but we'll allow a bit more time.
So while we're waiting here, just another quick mention for activity that we're going to be doing in 2020 here at Tourism Ireland. So as many of you know, we do run sales missions where we will come out and see you. So we know that many of you can't get, of course, to Toronto here to our office. We do try and make sure to get out across Canada to see you, along with a selection of our industry partners. So the first series of this will be in very early February, where we're going to be visiting Vancouver, Langley, Edmonton, and Calgary. And I will be sending more information and save the dates for that to you all very, very soon. So if you are based in any of those cities, be sure to come out and see us in early February.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks, Sandra.
Can I just add there, Sandra, Karen's question, I thought it was for me initially, but obviously it was for John. But just on that subject of agent rates, the way I normally work with an agent would be to send the net cost and take the pricing page off the last page of the proposal, so allowing agents to mark up as they please. Now with the bigger companies, there would just be a flat commission, but 9 times out of 10, I would do it that way. So they would get the net cost and they can mark up as they see fit.
That's great. Thanks, Colin.
Oh, yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah, the castle tour would be the exception to that. It's a flat 10%.
Okay, so no other questions have come through. Sandra, would you be okay with wrapping up?
Yeah, I think we're good. If anybody has any questions following this, do just reach out to us directly.
Great, that sounds good. So I would like to thank all the agents that attended the webinar today. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your day. And thank you so much to Laura, Sandra, Colin, and John. This is a fantastic presentations.
Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.
Bye-bye.